everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back for another brand new video. As you can tell by my face, I am absolutely still buzzing after yesterday's performance, but today we have something a little bit different for you. I'm going to bring you a 5 list, that's right, I'm slowly morphing into one of those YouTubers. But honestly, it's a 5 list I think that you'll actually enjoy, and I think it's going to be 5 things that Rangers proved in yesterday's performance. And honestly, it's just been a great 24 hours. I was so happy watching the famous The Rangers perform like that. The comments and everything that was so positive in yesterday's video. It's good to see so many Bears happy. And yeah, let's just jump into today's video, shall we? It should be pretty fun. Hopefully you get involved and maybe let me know 5 things that you learned from the actual game yesterday itself. 3, 2, 1. Starting off with the number 5, I'm actually going to start with a pretty simple one. It's actually going to be the mentality of the Rangers squad. That's something that really stood out to me after yesterday's game. Now that I think back of it, because at the time when we conceded in the first 40 seconds, I instantly thought of the previous Rangers. I was like, this is going to be horrific. This is going to be 5, 6, nothing easy to Villarreal. But no, this is a different Rangers side that we've had in a number of years. I can't even think how many years it's actually been. Mark Warburton's Rangers would have got pumped in that. And Pedro Caixinha's, he'd probably still be standing in a hedge somewhere, not even qualified. And Graham Murray, I'm not doing the handstand again. I can't be arsed. I can't be arsed. But this Rangers squad under Steven Gerrard has something a bit different to it. It's got a bit of steel, a bit of mental toughness, that thing we've been crying out for. Because let's be honest, after the first minute, it didn't look good. In fact, in the first 15 minutes, we didn't necessarily perform well, but what we actually did was kept our shape. We defended decently. We never let them create any clear-cut opportunities because we were reeling a wee bit. Because obviously they came out right away. They scored from a bit of a deflection off the 2 centre-backs. We could have absolutely crumbled, but we didn't. The players took 10-15 minutes, they got their shapes, they held it, and then they slowly, as the game got on, grew more and more into the game. So that's just something that really stood out to me. Because after the Old Firm loss, I'm going to be honest with you, when obviously Celtic fans ever came on the channel for their weekly amount of abuse, they basically said there was no difference between this Rangers squad and the previous ones under like previous managers. And I've got to completely disagree, and I think yesterday's game shows that point amazingly. Because listen, we're away at Villarreal. We're doing after 40 seconds. We've got 4 first-team players out the game. We could have crumbled, but we didn't. So that's my number 5. Rangers has now some steel and some balls. And number 4 is actually a bit of strength in depth. You think about it, you go back and look, we were missing 4, arguably 5 first team players from our starting lineup away in Europe. But it didn't faze us. In fact, the players that were in there actually put in a performance. The Joe Worrells, the Andy Hallidays, they stood up and they performed. The Barisics, they played well and they responded. They weren't like we were missing 4 or 5 key players. We were missing Ryan Jack, who is arguably one of our best players this season. But to be honest, even though we were away in Europe in Villarreal, didn't necessarily look like at the end of the game we got a draw. We're missing our top goal scorer, the Buffalo Soldier himself, Alfredo Morelos, and who ended up getting our equaliser? It was Kyle Lafferty, who was filling in up front. And I think that's something you need to go back and look at, because if you go back to any other seasons in the last 5, 6, 7 years, if 1 or 2 our best players have been missing, we absolutely crumbled. We just didn't look like we knew how to play football. It was over. Doesn't matter. And that's in the Scottish League. But in European football now, missing 4 or 5 team players, the players were able to step up, were able to rotate, and I think that's a massive boost. And a shout out to sort of Mark Allen and Stevie G for bringing in these players. The recruitment's been absolutely spot on, and now this Glasgow Rangers squad has got a bit of strength and depth, and when someone gets injured, it's not the end of the world. Number 3 is going to be GD himself, aka the bearded goatee of dreams. And the reason I actually say about JD is I think he announced himself in yesterday's cameo performance against Villarreal that he will play a massive part in this season's success. I know a lot of people wrote him off, and even when he was playing last season before the injury, where he's basically been out for a year, maybe didn't necessarily perform to his top abilities. He didn't really show his true quality, being in that restrictive centre mid / CDM role that he was playing. But I think under Steven Gerrard, I think the players that we've got around him now, the Jacks, the Koulibalys, the Hallidays, that will put in the graft, I think that sacrifice from those players will allow Graham Dorrans to really show the Rangers fans what he's all about, and you saw that. Listen, the guy's not played a pre-season game. The guy's not played any minutes at all this season. The guy's been injured for basically a year, yet we bring him on at 2-2 away at Villarreal when the game's insanely tense, literally throwing him into the deep end. And the guy absolutely thrived on it. And not only did he thrive on it, the man showed the true quality, what he has actually got in and around the box to unlock their defence with a tremendous bit of skill, the patience, the composure, fantastic pass into Arfield, who should have scored and it should have been a game winner. That's without any playing any games. Can you imagine when he gets fully fit and up to speed what Graham Dorrans will do in and around that box for our strikers? And it's not just about on the field with Graham Dorrans. I think you need to go and look at what Steven Gerrard said after the game itself, where he went, Graham Dorrans has travelled with the squad every single place they went in Europe and just watched them. He's not been fit enough to play, he's not even been registered to play. There was no chance of him ever playing, but yet he still travelled with the squad because he was a true leader to these boys in the dressing room. And I think that's what Gerrard sort of spoke about, his leadership quality. So you add that, the leadership, the sacrifice that he's willing to do, and his ability and the creative freedom, and for the love of God, he is the player that we need in the middle of the park to unlock defences. I think it's going to be a special season for Graham Dorrans, and that's why he's number 3 on the list. Number 2, taking a wee sidestep from the players and the management themselves. That's as strange as it is from 5 things we learned from Rangers yesterday, but this needs to be addressed, and that is the Rangers fans. Yesterday, we conceded after 40 seconds. Do you know who you could hear singing and rallying the team? It was the Rangers fans. See, for the next 15-20 minutes when we were barely in the game, couldn't string 2 passes together. Do you know who you could hear? The Rangers fans singing and willing the boys on. Do you know when we conceded who nearly blew the invisible roof off the stadium? When we scored, it was the Rangers fans. Then, unfortunately, 40 seconds later, when they scored, you could still hear the Rangers fans backing the boys and just demanding more from them, supporting them, motivating them. And I genuinely believe that they played a massive part in Rangers' performance yesterday, because I think to make that kind of atmosphere when you're away from home in European football is frightening. Because I think if you ask a neutral and they didn't know who the teams are or anything like that, they would have assumed that was a home game to Rangers, and I genuinely believe that. So once again, I need to just give credit to the Rangers fans that travelled to Villarreal. What an atmosphere that was actually created. Hi there, Craig from the future. I just want to say, I forgot to kind of mention the reason that they're number 2 on the thing that Rangers proved in yesterday's draw, is they proved they've got the best fans in the world. And before we reach number 1 on the list, it's time for the sponsor break, and the freshly washed sponsor... And before we reach number 1, you know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is time for the Friday sponsor break. That's right. Grab your refreshments there. But oh, you having a pint already? Come on. 3, 2, 1. Sponsor break. It's so nice that it's actually fresh stuff and it's not just like drinking acids. It's amazing. And now that we reached number 1, it's time to reveal the 5 things that Rangers proved yesterday, and that was number 1, Glenn Middleton is the real deal. And I know that might seem simple and obvious, but I cannot tell you how many comments I've received in the past when I have been mentioning Glenn Middleton saying, listen CJ, calm down, it's only insert SPFL team, or it's only a friendly. I've seen all that type of things, but listen, that wasn't a friendly or just an SPFL team. No! That was Villarreal in European football, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, away from home at a tense moment in the game when we were getting beat 2-1. He came on for Koulibaly and he ran on up and down that park and he played as if he was playing with his pals in the park. That has shown the true class and true fearlessness that Glenn Middleton has. That's going to be the entire video, all done and dusted and wrapped up in a neat little bow. I'll be TJ Over 92. I hope you enjoy your Friday. If you don't mind smashing a like button, that'd be greatly appreciated, and subscribing if you're new, as I think we're about 25 or 30 away from 21k. Can we hit it today? And also there will be a Patreon link if you want to join the rest of the fabulous 5. I was going to say the Fantastic 5, but it's obviously Fantastic 4 and that wouldn't work. The Jackson 5? Nah, just leave it. That link will be down in the description below to help the channel. I'll be TJ Over 92. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good weekend all, and bye.